Greetings, beloved ones, and welcome to your sacred spiritual experience at Unity of Washington, D.C. As is our practice, a member of our prayer ministry will be holding the entire congregation in prayer during the entire service. You are invited to join in with the prayer ministry every Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. for the prayer call. You can submit prayer requests and requests for spiritual counseling online or call the office and the appropriate ministry will be notified of your request. Divine Connections continues with Reverend Sylvia on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock p.m. This Saturday, October 23rd at 11:30 a.m., the book club meets. The book for October is American Marriage, a love story by Tayara Jones. The new member class in orientation begins Monday, October 25th through Thursday, October 28th, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. So if you want to become a member of our wonderful spiritual community or just want to know more about Unity, please sign up and attend this class. As you know, the various levels of our youth education program are meeting again on Sundays. Check the website for connection information. Also, on Sunday, November 7th, the Youth Education Department is planning a meditation walk. This will be open to all congregants and friends of Unity of Washington, D.C. The meditation walk will take place from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the National Arboretum. A very special occasion is coming up in November. We will be celebrating our very own senior minister, the Reverend Sylvia E. Sumter's 30th anniversary at Unity of Washington, D.C. That's right. Mark your calendars for November 12th, 13th, and 14th. This is a 3-day event to begin with a Zoom celebration on Friday evening, November 12th, followed on Saturday afternoon, November 13th, with a live stream mini concert highlighting some of the Rev's favorite soloists, musicians, and of course the Richard Payne Trio, and concluding with a spirit-filled special Sunday service on November 14th. More detailed information will be forthcoming. Family and Friends Day and the honoring of our seniors. And our seniors are those in the congregation who are 80 years young plus. We encourage you to invite your family members, friends, and those seniors in our spiritual community to join with us for our service on Sunday, November 21st at 11 o'clock a.m. As an exciting part of this special service, we'd like to do a photo showcase. So please submit one photo, just one please, of you, family, or friend, or one of our seniors. You can get additional information by going to our website. Adopt a Family is coming up. Oh, I know it's the end of our year almost. Your generous support of our Adopt a Family program has been a rewarding and heartwarming way to help some of the area's neediest families. Although COVID-19 may be subsiding, its effects are far from over. As was done in past years, with your support, we can restore hope to those families to make holiday wishes come true. Our 2021 Adopt a Family program will be run similar to last year. Instead of wrapped toys and gifts, the organizations we work with are requesting monetary donations to ensure that the families will have the flexibility to celebrate Christmas in a meaningful way. To that end, our goal is to collect $10,000 to support the families we have adopted. The money will be used to purchase gift cards that will cover not only toys and other gifts, but also for the purchase of grocery items. Just a reminder again, read the emails that we send out to you during the week or check out our website at unityofwashingtondc.org to obtain additional information about our classes, events, and ways to donate.
into temptation. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever.
Wow. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Thank you so much to that wonderful, rousing rendition from Richard Payne Trio. I loved that this morning. Thank you, Will, for that wonderful, wonderful musical rendition, opening the heart, opening the mind, opening our spirits, and helping us to get ready for this morning's experience. It's a glorious morning. It's a great morning. People are saying great rising, great day in the morning. We are entering into a new season, a season of fall, and I want to take a moment to really thank our garden team for getting our garden in the front of this building looking so beautiful. Even though we are not holding classes and coming, the beautification for this building is for everyone, passers-by even, to see and to behold. So I thank our wonderful garden team for their lovely work. I want to thank also Reverend Cheryl for always giving us a beautiful display. Our flowers have a fall flair to them, and it just brings us into the spirit of change and transformation. I love living in this environment where we move from season to season, because that's how life is. We move from season to season, experience to experience, and it's an ongoing process. I wonder what season are you in your life? I know that whatever it is, it's a good season. Whether it's fall or winter or spring or summer, all of it has its purpose. Every season that we find ourselves in has a purpose, a divine purpose for each of us. So we welcome it. We welcome it. Well, beloved ones, here we are again today, gathering once more, sharing energy and vibrations together. And even though we are sharing our energy and our light and our love through the ethers and through the internet and through the cloud, even through the spiritual realm of presence, we're still able to feel that energy and to receive it. Just like when we are looking at the television, that image is traveling across light waves to reach us, and we're there and we're present. Even when we hear something over the telephone, that the energy is coming through the wires and the waves so that we can receive it. And likewise, we are sharing something this morning, and every time we gather together, whether we are in person, whether we are physically near one another, we are still gathering energetically in one another's presence. And when we're tuned in, we're tuned in. So I hope that you're tuned in this morning, literally, to the spiritual vibrations that are being shared and expressed. Because I'm receiving your vibrations of love and light. I can feel you. I finally have gotten used to sharing my love and light and looking at a camera, but feeling the presence of the multitudes. It's a wonderful experience. So be that as it may, thank you for joining us this morning, worshiping with us, affirming, praying, and holding a high watch, keeping the high watch, and sending the vibrations out into the world for love and light. So it's good to be in your presence this morning. Since being in the midst of almost 2 years now of a pandemic, because, we thought when this first started, we thought, it'd be over pretty soon. We're heading into 2 years of this experience. And being in the midst of this pandemic for almost 2 years, and also being in the midst of coming out of my 4-month sabbatical, I've had some time to get clear. I hope you've had some time to get clear. I've had some time to get clear. I am clear that life is precious. It is precious, it is fleeting, it is quick, and it's meant to be lived to the fullest. It's meant to be lived in the highest awareness possible. That life is something that we need to engage with our whole heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that we don't have time anymore for foolishness. We don't have time anymore, this has shown me, for things that really do not matter. And do you know most of the things that we think about and run through our head, they really don't matter. It really doesn't. It's foolishness. And so we want to get clear on what is valuable to us and within life itself. What is it that we need to be about so we can be on point and on purpose? What is it that will enable us to not only have the highest awareness and expression of consciousness, but to begin to demonstrate that and to express all these powers and abilities and skills that are inherent in our own nature as spiritual beings? How can we demonstrate and express that which we have been created to be and to do and to express and have? And how can we do it? And when should we do it? Well, I know the time is now. Now is the moment. This is it. This is the moment that we are here to live the truth that we know and to be a demonstration of it. And this is what I thought about. I said, you know, the future that we either dreamed of, whether it's going to be glorious, or that we have feared, both are upon us. They're here and now. The future is here now. Everything that we've dreamed about, possibility of life, the good life, is here. And everything that we have also feared in life, the cessation of life, the planet, all that is here as well. So the choice is ours to make of which experience will we have. And how will our life unfold and what we will be about. So I'm hoping that you all are feeling the urgency as I am. I think, hopefully, if you're not feeling the urgency to be on point with your life and on purpose with your life, if you're not feeling that urgency of the times that we're in, well, maybe that's a good thing, because then they say ignorance is bliss, so maybe you're just blissed out, and that's a good thing. But for most of us, we know something is afoot, and something is changing, and something is urgent. Last week I talked about it is time to get your house in order. That was the message that Spirit gave me. Get your house in order. And by house, I mean my consciousness, my literal house, my physical house, my inner house, the church's house, everything. Get things in order because the time is now. And I was talking to you about the portal of us being present, as the breath is that way in which we have access to the divine, to the living Spirit of God in us. It's through this portal called the breath, and that wherever we are, God is. And as we breathe, as we allow ourselves to be conscious of this inner gift of life, that all of a sudden we have access to wisdom and truth and understanding and guidance and everything that we need for these higher realms, right? So we're using the breath to anchor us in God's presence because it offers us so much healing, wisdom, everything that we need, balance, and so much more. Well, this morning, friends, I want to talk to you about another equally important and powerful portal. And a portal is an opening and an access point. And so the breath is a portal to the divine presence of God within us. The moment you breathe, there is God. Right? And so there's another portal that is very powerful, just as the breath is, that gives us an access point, an entry point into the awareness, into the presence and power of God. And the reason why I'm taking the time to share with you about these portals is because I think the time for studying and conceptualizing and pondering about these wonderful teachings, I think that must give way. That activity of study and ponder, not that we eliminate it, but it has to give way to a higher expression of being, doing, expressing, because that's what's being called for in this moment. That we are here to be masterful metaphysicians, light bearers, healers, truth tellers, spiritual adepts. The time is now to step into that and live it out loud, to be it, because that's what's needed. So we're going to do this thing. This is the time to do the thing. And if you were here, I tell you to turn to somebody and tell them, just do the thing. Do the thing, because that's what we're called to be. We are the ones, truly, we are waiting for. So as we focused last week on getting your house in order, your consciousness in order, your thoughts and feelings, your mind in order, we can't stop there because there's some other things that need to be placed in order. And there's another portal of the divine, as I mentioned, another portal that will take us into the highest realms of spirit, and where we can access this power, ability to be and to create and to transform and to do the things that are ours to do, and to do the things that are coming through us as God-ordained things. And that is the portal of the heart. The portal of the heart. It is time to get our hearts in order. Listen to what Mr. Fillmore says about the heart. I'm not going to read all of it, but these are two sentences that I thought was very important when describing the heart. He said, "It is the center from which the divine substance is poured forth." The center from which divine substance is poured forth. It comes from the heart, right? And then he says further down, when the heart is purged of all thoughts of adverse to good, man consciously contacts the underlying God substance. When the heart is purged of all thoughts adverse to good, anything that is the opposite of good, when we let that go and purge our heart from that, then we're able to contact the substance of God. And I call that also the blessings of God, because the blessings of God, the goodness of God that Mr. Filmer is talking about, that comes in the form of our blessings. And it comes from the heart of God. Good comes from God. And the divine desires of our heart come from God. It even says in the Holy Scriptures, I will give you the desires of your heart. Lean not unto your own understanding, but follow me and follow the path that I am setting before you, and you will have the desires of your heart. So we want to make sure that our heart, as this is a sacred portal, that somehow it's in order and it's clear. You don't want anything to block the blessings that come through the heart, come from the heart of God into the heart of man, right? And so we want to make sure that we are clear vessels, clean vessels, open vessels, and that the heart is open and clear and free from any limiting qualities of being. And we all know what limiting qualities of being that we might hold in the heart would be. Fear, anger, greed, jealousy, lust, any of those things clog up the channels of the heart so that the blessings have a harder time coming to us and through us. The heart is this place where divine understanding comes forth. The heart is the place where the highest and the best of God is able to come through. It's the place where pure wisdom comes. We think wisdom comes from the mind or the brain, but wisdom, true wisdom, comes from the heart. That sacred heart. And so we want to make sure that our heart is open. And not only open, we want to make sure that it's activated. Because when your heart is activated as a portal of the divine, as an expression of the divine, then transformation can take place. It's no good to transform your thoughts if you really haven't opened your heart. When the heart is opened and activated, transformation can take place. Because this is the truth. You can have no spiritual progress, no real spiritual progress without your heart flowering. This is what I learned in all of my studies in India. It's great to have your consciousness to expand, but unless the heart flowers, you make no spiritual progress. You must have that heart opened because that's what helps the expansion of your mind to really then have a place to express and to manifest. So what we want to do is we want to allow ourselves to be open to the higher expressions of truth. We want to make sure that we are open to this energy, right? Because the heart is the portal that will bring forth the highest and the best in us. It brings forth the pure goodness of God. It brings forth that which harmonizes and heals and connects all things into a sense of oneness and unity and harmony, the wholeness of God, right? So it's the wholeness of God at work. It's the Holy Spirit, the wholeness of God at work. And it comes through that wonderful portal of this heart that will bring us into relationship with everything and everyone, including God, friends, families, whatever. We are in relationship because we are connected to one another, whether we are aware of it consciously or not. But when you have the awareness that I am in you, you are in me, we are in God, we are one, we start operating at a different level. All of a sudden, we bring forth the purity and the goodness of God so that miracles can take place. But the heart must be opened and it must be expanded. And the energy that comes from the heart is the way in which goodness reaches us, blessing reaches us, it comes forth. And we know in unity that goodness is just a simple word for God. So God comes through the breath, but God also works through the portal of the heart. The heart is a powerful place for us to understand. And this is what I want us to know. Your heart can be opened or your heart can be closed. And we want to, when your heart is open, when your heart begins to flower and open, certain things happen. All of a sudden, your heart will keep you attuned to the precious goodness of life, open to the miracles. But when your heart is closed, then all of a sudden, you are subject to the lower vibrations of life. When the heart is closed, you are operating on a lower consciousness as well. And you'll experience the lower vibrations and qualities of being: anger, revenge, unforgiveness, jealousy, selfishness, greed, insecurity, separateness, and on and on and on. And you'll have lots and lots of issues. When the heart is closed, you'll have some issues. One of my favorite scriptures actually comes from Proverbs 4:23. And it says, "Keep thine heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Keep your heart with all diligence, meaning you got to work to keep this heart open. For out of it come the issues of life. Listen, friends, every issue that we have in life, that you and I have, it's a matter of the heart. When you have issues, and I'm not talking about technical issues or physical issues, that kind of thing, but when you have issues in your relationships, issues in the level of life that you're experiencing, it is a matter of the heart, which is why the scripture says, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. So that's our key, the issues of life. And it's a matter of the heart and the degree to which your heart is opened or the degree to which your heart is closed. When your heart is open, you will express forgiveness, understanding, acceptance, connection, harmony, oneness, peace, ease, grace, etc. When the heart is closed, you'll experience unforgiveness, fear, separation, upset, retaliation, retribution, justification, isolation, one perspective, self-righteousness, self-obsession, the desire to win and succeed at any cost, and to be right as opposed to righteous. That's when the heart is closed. And so we've got to figure out then, how can we keep ourselves open? The heart. Get your heart in order. Because what will happen is when your heart is closed, you struggle with so much. Life becomes a struggle. You struggle in your relationships and you feel disconnected, right? And when we feel disconnected from each other, it makes it easier for us to actually harm one another and not heal. To harm and to heal. So the question is then what are your issues? And don't think you don't have any issues. Everybody got issues. I got issues, you got issues, everybody got some issues. Now, we also try to hide our issues, but that doesn't work. So what's standing in the way? What issues you have are standing in the way of you experiencing joy and peace and happiness, peace of mind, all of that? Where are you struggling in life? With whom are you struggling? With what are you struggling? It's time to really look at that and get your heart in order. Get your heart in order. And I want to give you a hint about the issues. This is a hint. The issue is you. I know it's tempting to think that other people's stuff is our issue. And I'm not saying that other people don't come with their issues, because they do. They have issues. And so when their issue meets your issues, there's an issue. Right? And we then struggle. And we bump up against one another. And then I'm trying to heal you of your issues and correct your issues, which I can't, when I need to get to my issues. This is about me working on myself. So what happens is that when there's an issue, I have to put the tendency to look at the other individual or the situation out here, put that aside, and begin to look at your thoughts, your fears, your judgments, your perspective. Well, get to the heart of the matter of the issue. What's the heart of your issues? Because they're based on some of your feelings. They're based on some of your truths that you've been telling yourselves, or untruth. They're based on, do you feel worthy? Do you feel enough, good enough? Whatever it is, when there's an issue, there's some feeling level involved. There's some issue involved. Because I like to say it's also some woundedness going on. Because what happens is when we are wounded, and most of us are wounded, there's something, and a wound is something that happens and we haven't addressed it. We didn't heal it, so it lingers. It could be from childhood. It could be from just a thought that you've had that you're not worthy enough or good enough, or all the enoughness. And when we are wounded, we all have heard the statement of hurt people hurt people. We know that. And when we are wounded, when my woundedness comes up against your woundedness, if I am not conscious enough, I will respond from a lower vibration. Now, I'm telling you from what I recognize lately in myself and how I'm seeing this playing out. Not only in the larger world, but how I see it playing out in my world. So when we're wounded and we haven't addressed those wounds, that energy and vibration of the woundedness is what I put out there. So it meets you, it greets you. My woundedness greets you. My woundedness affects you. And I begin to relate to you from my woundedness. And then you begin to pick up and you relate to me from your woundedness. And we don't have an opportunity to heal and to connect. And vibrationally, what we do is we are continuing the process of deepening the wounds. I love the way it was Martin Luther King said, hatred cannot drive out hatred. Only love can do that. Only light can do that. And woundedness cannot heal woundedness. Only love can do that. And it's not me necessarily feeling that I've got to love you, but I've got to love me. I've got to get myself in order, get my heart in order, my feelings, my perceptions. I've got to put them in order. I've got to make sure that my heart field, my energy field, the field that draws the substance, it's your heart that draws the blessings and the goodness of God to you. I want that field to be cleared up. So if you have issues with someone, I want you to not think about the issues that you have with the someone. I want you to see if you can get to the underlying basis of the issue that you have, period. Not with them. What are your issues? Well, they disrespected me. Well, do you respect yourself? What is the issue of someone else? Okay, where's that coming from? Peel away the layers within your own being. Because this is where the power lies. This is the work that has to come. And I've been doing this technique that I've been working with because I recognize I need to heal certain areas of my own expression in my heart. But when I think that it's someone else that has wounded me with their woundedness, and I respond in the same energy, I know that that's not going to yield me anything but more woundedness. So I've been practicing. I said, okay, it's not really about them, even though they may be doing things that are not from, that I don't like or not for my highest good, or things that are questionable, or things that are scary, or things that make me feel unsafe, or whatever. But I had a teaching that said, never cast anyone out of your heart. And that something about that just touched me so deeply. Because listen, I have an ability to cast you out of my presence in a heartbeat. When I feel that I don't feel good about what you're bringing me and what you're sharing, I'm going to keep you at bay. I'm going to keep you at a distance. And what I recognize is that through that statement, I've cast them out of my heart. So when I cast you out of the heart, then how will healing take place? And what that is my energy now is spent keeping you at bay, keeping the issue at bay, when I need to have all the energy to heal. And so what I've been doing lately is I've been bringing everybody and everything into my heart, especially those people that I want to cast out, especially those that I have an issue with, who I feel uncomfortable with. Bring them into your heart, because that is the only place that I'm going to be able to heal my own woundedness, and perhaps theirs as well. So I meditate by seeing that person now in my heart. And it isn't about what they did, what they say. Don't go there. That's head stuff. When the head wants to jump in, when you're doing heart work, the head's going to want to get in there. And it's going to want to say, but look, but wait a minute. If you forgive them this, blah, 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 they're going to, no. You'll be coming out like a weakling and you'll be, no. That's the head stuff. Keep them in the heart, and then you do your work, which is to just simply vibrate the love of God. Not even for the person. Don't just bring them in and then you let go of them. But then you are bringing your whole being to the point in the vibration, a high vibration of love. It isn't about what they did. You're not going to ruminate about what they said. It's not about them. It's about you. And so as you begin to vibrate at this higher level, as you begin to bring your heart, get your heart in order, you get the vibrations and you start lifting up the high vibrations within you and within your heart. That's where the healing takes place. The blessings take place. You don't have to do it. You don't even have to like them. The divine will do the work. Love does the work. The heart does the work. You bring them into that presence, right? Because if you cast them out, then you are going to be the one who suffers. So you just simply bring them in and begin to vibrate love and light, not even towards them. Just bring them in and you start vibrating. And I guarantee you, there will be a shift, if not in them, but in you. In you. And healing then is possible. Seeing another perspective is possible. Because now, you're creating this circle of love and of oneness, because everything is divinely connected. And when we try to make sure that we're outside of the circle, or people are outside of our sphere, it doesn't work. We're all connected. So we bring that in. We want to transform. I want you to listen to what it says about bringing this technique of taking the challenges and people who you'd rather not have in your circle, how to bring them in. And this is from Matthew 5. Matthew 5, verse 43. And it's on the Beatitudes, and it's love for your enemies. And this is the way it says in the King James Version. You have heard that it said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, and do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and he sends his rain on the just and the unjust. So you don't get to say who gets blessed and who doesn't get blessed. That's God's work. You just do your thing, right? He says, so if you love those who love you, what reward will you have? Don't even tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brothers only, what more do you do than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore, you shall be perfect, just as your Father in heaven is perfect. I love this one because Jesus, it's a hard teaching. Love your enemies. I don't want to love my enemies, but only love can bring light. Only love can heal. And I like this statement that says enemies really means intimacy, my intimacy. When I think I have enemies, it's like I need to see into my own heart. What's in there? What is in there? And this is the way it says it, the same scripture from the Message, which I really love. He says, you're familiar with the old written law, love your friend, and its unwritten companion, hate your enemies. It's something similar to the old law. He's talking about the old law in the Old Testament, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. See, we feel justified. You hurt me, I can hurt you. You poke out my eye, I'm going to poke out your eye. You knock out my tooth, I can knock out your tooth. That's the Mosaic law, an eye for an eye. And some of us live under that. But what that does is we end up being toothless and nobody is seeing anything correctly. But he said, that's not the thing. There's a new law. He says, I'm challenging that. I'm telling you to love your enemies. Let them bring out the best in you, not the worst. See, if we really want to be spiritual adepts, if we really want to be masterful metaphysicians, if we want to be healers, if we want to be light bearers, if you want to be able to speak your word and have it done, if you want to be a miracle worker, you're going to have to put your heart in order. Which means you're going to have to keep it free from debris. You're going to have to keep it free from all those limiting things and conditions and qualities of being that would separate you in consciousness from your brother, from your sister, from God. You've got to get it in order. So he's saying, I'm telling you, let them bring out. So what I'm learning is, when I have a resistance to someone or something, I'm learning, let me stop and see, there's a learning here. Here's an opportunity for overcoming. Here's an opportunity for me to demonstrate my spiritual mastery. Here it is for me to step over this limitation, this negative, and begin to see and call forth and do the things that I want to do and to open my heart so that Spirit can do the work and can bring about miracles. I then become the master. When I can love you, when I can forgive you, when I can connect with you, I'm the master. Then I'm taking the high road. You take the low road. That's all right. I take the high road. And the high road leads to everything good. It leads to God. And then God does the working out. See, we think I have to figure it out. You don't have to work it out. You don't have to even get them straight. Life will do what it needs to do. That love will straighten you out. And things begin to fall into place. So you let it bring out the best in you. Let those folks bring out the best in you. When someone gives you a hard time, respond with the energies of prayer. For then you are working out of your true selves, your God-creative self. Somebody giving you a hard time, don't meet it with the same vibration they're giving you. This is the secret for all of us to learn. Because the tendency is I want to meet it, what you're giving me, I'm going to meet you where you are, and what you're giving me, I'm going to give it right back to you. I'm going to give you something higher. I'm going to give me something higher. I'm going to meet it. He says, meet it. If you meet someone that's giving you a hard time, respond with the energies of prayer. Prayer is an affirmation of that which is true and good. You call forth that good. See, they're coming with some darkness. You call for the light. You bring that truth. You bring the higher vibration, because a low vibration cannot stand in the presence of a high vibration of God. It just can't. The darkness cannot be overcome or withstand the light. The light will overcome it every time. So you want to be a light bearer, we're going to have to learn to get your heart in order. Get your heart in order. Begin to express this love, right? And it says, this is what God does. He gives his best to everybody, the sinner, the saint. And aren't you glad that God gives his best? Because look, if it was done on merit, if I could only get my blessings from God based on what I have done in my life, then I would be shortchanged. Because I've made mistakes. Haven't you made mistakes? But God doesn't operate that way. There's that grace and that favor that he pours out upon all of us. The good, the bad, the ugly, the sinners, everybody gets this wonderful grace of God. And thank God, because we're included in that too. He says he gives his best, the sun to warm and the rain to nourish, to everyone, regardless of the good and the bad. See, the nice and the nasty. I only want to deal with the nice. I don't want to deal with the nasty. I like the good people. I don't like those who are coming off. No. That's a low vibration and a low perception. God sees it all as good. And the potential for the blessing and the beauty of every soul is right there. We like to say, I behold the Christ in you. Hear the life of God I see. Christ is in everybody. Everybody has that spark of divinity, whether it's covered up, whether they are in a state of forgetfulness, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's there, and that's what we speak to. That's what we call forth, because we are coming from that. When you come from the highest and best in you, then that is the light that will help others to walk and see, as well as yourself. So it says, he gives it to everybody, regardless of the good and the bad, the nice and the nasty. If all you do is love the lovable, do you expect a bonus? Anybody can do that. If you simply say, you want to be a spiritual master, love your enemies. Love those, quote unquote, because there are no enemies. There are no enemies. There's only intimacy, right? See myself. See my own projection. Anybody, if you simply say hello to those who greet you, do you expect a medal? Any run-of-the-mill sinner does that. In a word, what I'm saying is grow up. I like this. In a word, what I'm saying is grow up. He says, you're kingdom subjects, now live like it. Live out your God-created identity. Live generously and graciously towards others, the way God lives towards you. This is it. We got to put the heart in order. I know that we have many opportunities. There are many people out there that we could say, I don't like this group. I don't like that race. I don't like how they're demonstrating. We could find all those ways. That will keep us stuck in the vibration, a lower vibration. Forget all that. You're the healer. You're the light worker. You're the true student. Bring that light. Bring it to yourself. See it in a different perspective. Keep putting out that light, putting out that love, putting out that thing. Because when you do that, all of a sudden, you're the transformer. You're the ones we've been waiting for. So we've got to begin to do this. Practice it. And it does work. I mean, I have been doing this lately because I have a situation where I've got to put my heart in order for me to reap the blessings and the benefits, and to be a vessel and a vehicle for the Spirit to move through, to be this portal. And love is the portal. The heart is the portal. I got to get my heart and mind right, heal my woundedness, heal all of my issues, begin to see them and to let go, because I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. I'm a victor. And I don't have to receive the low vibrations that others are putting out. But what I do have to do, my work is to put out high vibrations at all times. That's how I'm going to transform my world. That's the secret that's been hidden for a while, that we have the power to transform a situation. Get to the heart of the matter. Don't forget the head. Don't get into the why and who. No, get underneath that. Why am I feeling this way? What can I do? What is my part in this? Where am I wounded? Why am I offended? What's happening in me? Let me heal. Let me take this time to really put forth the light in my own heart so that I can share the light to the world. In the world, you're going to have trials and tribulations, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. This being connected to God and love and the heart helps you to overcome the world. It's the heart of the matter. I took a course this weekend, and in the course, they said there were 3 things. It was a course about relationships. And one of the things they said, there are 3 key things in order to have relationships that work, and relationship to self, because we're always in relationship to something. Your job, people in your life, your neighbor, strangers. We're in relationship to something. And so they said these are the 3 things. Putting the heart in order. You got to begin to have forgiveness. And here is the thing. Forgiveness has to be a practice it's a continual thing. There's always going to be something to forgive. So it's not about, if we think of forgiveness, I don't want to forgive the behavior that you did, blah, blah, blah. Just think forgiveness is letting go. When something comes, oh, I see, I'm offended, let it go. Someone says something, oh, I see it, okay, now let it go. It's constantly letting go. It is a permanent state of mind, constantly being in the flow of, I let go, I release that, I let it go. Now again, we're not talking about being a doormat, because when you take this higher choice, make this higher choice, the universe begins to work things out for you. And you'll begin to speak and move and in love. So you'll have your boundaries. You won't be weak, you'll have your boundaries, but it'll be done in love, it'll be expressed in love. So forgiveness. You must practice that constantly, letting go, letting go. Something comes, let it go. Something offends you, let it go. Something hurts you, let it go. You can't keep carrying around your hurts and your woundedness, not as a spiritual adept, not as a healer and a light bearer. Let it go, okay? So forgiveness. The other thing is acceptance. As a spiritual adept, you're going to have to accept people are the way they are. They got issues, they're just as messed up as you are, okay? So you accept all of that. Stop trying to change everybody and change their behavior. You can't change behavior unless consciousness is changed, right? Stop looking for all these outer solutions and get the inner solution going. So acceptance. Learn to accept people as they are. However they show up, but fine. It doesn't mean that, again, you don't operate within your own sense of boundaries and power of what's acceptable. But you don't say, I don't accept this individuals, this, that, and the other. I'm going to try to change them. Forget it. In relationships, you can't change other people. You can only change yourself. So accept what that is and who they are, and then you do your healing work. Don't spend time trying to change them. Accept that they are who they are. They're showing up however they show up. Now, how do you need to show up? What do you need to do? What's the higher choice and the higher road you need to take? And that will heal the situation. Forgiveness and to learn to accept. And the third and final thing is connection. Keep the connection. Keep your heart open. Recognize we are in this together, but you have to do your work. I'm connected, and when I feel that I can connect with you as a being in the whole sphere of life itself, I will have more compassion, more understanding. You know, if we could really understand and see inside another person's woundedness, it'd be so much easier to love even our enemies. So feel that sense of connection, recognizing I cannot live without you. You cannot live without me. We are one. We are connected to the source, connected to each other. And as you begin to express your light and keep your heart open and get your heart in order, everything else begins to fall into place. You take the high road, make the high choice, choose the higher way. See, that God way, that good way, and everything else. Because when you're vibrating on that higher vibration, a low vibration cannot affect you. You raise your vibration, get your heart in order. All of the things that are yours to do, that's your work. And so when you begin to get your house in order, your consciousness, your mind, now you get your heart in order, baby, there's no stopping you then. I love you, I bless you, and I keep you in my heart, in my heart. And there's nothing you can do about it. Namaste and blessings. Oh, thank you. That's okay. All right. Yes, come on. That's done. Let's give some love. Open the heart so we can hear that vibe, hear the wonderful talent and music coming from Will Witherspoon, and the Richard Payne Trio. And you're looking mighty good, Will. I like those colors.
Thank you.
You know, pink is a color for love as well. It's the heart. It's the color of the heart. So heart.
Thank you.
Your heart is open. A little louder, he needs it.
When I am down and oh my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burneth heavy, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I could ever be.
Wow. So beautiful. Yes. Let's give him some love. That was so beautiful. Thank you. You raise me up. See, that's the message. Who can we raise up? Raise ourselves up and we raise other people up. Who was it Michelle said, when they go low, we go high? When somebody brings you a low vibration, that's your cue to lift them up and raise yourself up and that vibration up. That's what we're here to do for each other, but to do that for ourselves as well. Let's take a moment to go within. I want us to put the heart in order. So let's come from a place of love as we take a few moments to meditate. to become still and centered, rooted and grounded in the presence of God. Take that breath, that anchor, and allow yourself to be ushered into the presence of peace. So I invite you to breathe very deeply and fully, slow and easy, savoring every ounce of breath. Fill your soul with the Spirit of the living God. Breathe. Conscious breathing. And with each breath, let go. With each breath, become still and centered. I am poised in the presence of God. I let go now of every thought, feeling that does not speak to the greater good. I just let go. For I am supported by the one who supports the sun and the stars and the moon in the heavens, and who supports me as I traverse this thing that is called life. I trust the process, and I let go now, so that I might dwell in the heart of the divine. I dwell in the heart of my own being. When I breathe and I let go. And in this sacred place, the secret place of the Most High, in my own heart of hearts, I rest in the awareness that everything now is working together for my highest good. That the Divine One is bringing forth the desires of my heart. And every prayer is answered. Every need is being met. And my soul is being fulfilled. So I open my heart now. And I dwell within in love, that I might be healed and the broken places bound, and the wounded places covered up, transformed, healed. Just rest in the heart. Peace be unto you. Peace. Oh, thank you, Creator of all that is good. Thank you for this divine portal of the heart that leads me into good and greater good, into infinite blessings, healing, wholeness, love, and light. Just take a deep breath now and give thanks unto God, the good, the omnipotent. And so it is. Amen and amen. So, beloved ones, we are so grateful to be in your midst and in your presence. I trust and hope and pray that the words of this morning have entered into your hearts and begun a good work to bring about healing and wholeness, so that you can be that vessel and that vehicle to receive the blessings of God and to share those blessings out into the world, into your life and affairs, with compassion and understanding and generosity of spirit. May you abound in every good thing. We want to take a moment to affirm our affirmation for this week. Before we get to our offering, we'll see if we can do, well, maybe we'll do the offering and then, okay, the affirmation. Here we go. I thank you, my lovelies who are working the sound back there. I just love you. I send you high vibrations, and I thank you for your gift of service and love and action. So thank you. The affirmation says, I lead from and live within the heart of God. And with every issue I face, I express the highest vibration of divine love. I take the high way, always. I am the keeper of my heart, and I am at peace. And so it is. Yes, that's a powerful affirmation. Work with that as you continue to put your heart in order. And for this we are grateful and thankful. And let us now bless our offering. We're thankful for you, beloved ones, for everything that you share, for the generosity of your spirit, that you remember this, your spiritual home and spiritual community. As you share your love and your light and your gifts with us, we are grateful. The offering prayer is divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. It is a process. Let love flow to you and through you to bless everything that you give, everything that you are. And the cycle means it returns unto you, shaken together, pressed down, and running over. May God's goodness and mercies continue to flow into your life, and may your heart's desires be met this and every day. And for this we are so grateful. And now let us close our service out with our closing songs. You light up my life.